with us right now, the founder of Come With Me Sis and Lyntrell's Closet. We've got Lyntrell Jacobs. And Lyntrell, you are found on the web at lyntrelljacobs.com. Lyntrell, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Josh, for having me here. I'm excited and honored to be here with you today.
For sure. So tell us about your story. How did you start Lyntrell's Closet?
I actually started it accidentally. I was a makeup artist full time, and I went to work at a salon. Fast forward, the lady at the salon had a boutique in there, and she would always say I dressed really nice, and I just was not interested. I was like, no, I'm a full-time makeup artist, not interested. But one day she took me to a buyer's market where you go and buy wholesale. She's like, no, just take a look. You might, get into it one day. And I'm like, no way. Later, a few years later, when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was super sick, couldn't do makeup. And so I was thinking of something that I could do. And I'm like, maybe I could just sell clothes online until I have the baby and go back to makeup. And 8 years later, I'm still here.
How did you become profitable? Like, how did you do this? Like, how did you get people to buy? Or what did you put on the website? How did you, I got so many questions. Continue the story, please.
No problem. So I actually put everything on Instagram. Like I said, it was just supposed to be like a small thing. It wasn't supposed to be something big. So I did like a big cartel website. This is a long time ago. And I started posting everything on Instagram. This was pre-algorithm, all of those things now. So there was no, funny stuff with social media or anything. So I just posted it, and people were able to see it. And that's when hashtags were really, really new. So I was hashtagging what I saw other people hashtag, like, California, LA, different cities and stuff. And I was getting orders, and I'm like, no way, like this is really working. And I didn't have inventory because I started it with no money. So I didn't have any inventory, and I had found a vendor out in Europe that would allow me to basically overnight things. So what I would do is when someone would order, I would place the order with my vendor, who would then overnight it to me. And then, I would ship it out once I got it. And the way that I started to build it up is once somebody ordered one, I would basically order 2 of those. And then, and now I have another one for when somebody else ordered. So I started from super humble beginnings.
Yeah. So, okay. So you're posting and what's the product?
So those were my clothes. And then I was just
were
posting
you,
accessories.
And you were designing them and then having them created by a manufacturer?
No, I didn't design them. So no, I was, I purchased wholesale, and then I'm a retail store. So I retail them. So I wasn't designing.
Oh, right. Okay, good. So you're just finding the fashions and stuff that you like, and you're like, yes, I want that in my store.
Yes.
And then doing your store, it initially is just Instagram.
It was. And so I was all over the place at first. And this is something that I see a lot of businesses do, just kind of trying to find my way. I love shoes. I love accessories. I still was trying to incorporate makeup. I love clothes. So I did clothing. I had accessories on there. I had shoes on there. Then I went down the whole influencer rabbit hole, trying to work with influencers. And it took me a while to find my, niche and just settle on clothing. And so that's where I kind of stayed. But during that time, I didn't even really have pictures of the items. I just took, they would allow me to use their pictures from their website. So I would post those on Instagram, and they were really high quality. And I think that is what worked for me, because other boutiques were posting at the time pictures of things like laid on the bed. And, this was a long time ago. Instagram wasn't as delicate as it is now. Now everybody's pictures are perfect, but back then people were still figuring it out. It was much like a migration from Facebook, so we didn't really know how to use it. And people were just posting clothes like laid on the bed, hanging up, but I had models in the clothes, and I think that helped me a long way.
Yeah, when you start posting this, I think what did you learn in terms of, especially like working with influencers? Like, what was your outreach? Like, what did you say? What did they say? Did you have to give them money up front? Did you just give them product? Like, I know there's a lot of people that have maybe experimented working with influencers. Maybe it's been successful. Maybe it's not been. What did you find ultimately? What was your journey in that?
My journey with working with influencers was a rocky one, only because I wasn't quite sure of my audience. I didn't really know a whole lot about target audience or anything. I was just like trying to work with people that I thought were, I guess, popular on social media, maybe had a nice following. So I would look at their numbers and their engagement and things like that and just say,
Yeah.
hey, this is somebody that, I think I might get sales from, and work with them. And I would reach out. A lot of them had their emails and stuff up in their bio, and I would email. Some of them would do very small payments. And then some of them that just wanted to be fashion influencers would take just the clothing, and they were fine with that with no pay. And so, I started to budget that in with being able to send them an outfit and be okay with that. And that worked for a while. But I can honestly say I did not get the sales that I thought I was going to get from working with influencers. So I want to tell every single boutique owner out there, do not try to take the easy way out and work with influencers just because they have a large following. A lot of those people who come to their page come to their pages because they like them. And they might like their outfit, but they didn't come there to buy their stuff. They come there because they like them, their family, what they're doing. So be super careful with working with influencers.
Yes. Yeah. And so eventually though, you want to build your own following. And so, and tell me more about like what you learned in terms of content. Like what was the content that you feel kind of really helped grow your business?
So I feel like one thing that really helped grow my business is I was always really active on Facebook for a long, long time. And what worked for me over there was posting me, my children, my day-to-day, sort of like my journey. And I didn't realize I was doing this. I was just posting what I was doing that day, what me and my kids, ate, where we went, we were having fun, things like that. And then I noticed a pattern. It's like, wow, I have really, really good engagement here. And so I took that over to Instagram, and I was posting me, my kids, the boutique, what we're doing behind the scenes, and new things that were coming in. I'm working with this person today, or I'm getting ready for this show. I was doing a lot of trade shows and things like that. Later I started doing trade shows. So I would post us like hanging up the racks and, preparing to go to different cities for shows. And I guess people just were interested in like the day to day, they like the products. But once I took everyone behind the scenes, more like a journey, I guess they felt more connected. So I guess it was more of a connection that they felt with the page. And then it became more of a brand. So I was building a brand all along, and I did not know that.
Yeah. Did you have trade shows that you would go to and you wouldn't sell anything?
Yes.
Oh no. So tell me emotionally what that's like, and like how, obviously you didn't let that deter you, but to somebody else that's ever gone to a trade show, maybe they're making jewelry, maybe they're selling whatever, right? And it was a very frustrating experience for them. What would you say to them?
I would say to do your due diligence. I feel like I dropped the ball. I was under a misconception. I'd done a really great show, and this one had a similar name, and I didn't realize that they were not connected. And so I booked the next one because I thought they were connected, and I did great at the other one. And so when I got there, first of all, there was no admission. It was free. So I don't think people were gauged to purchase. And so I would just say to do your due diligence, always make sure that you show up either way, show up your very best, take pictures. And if all else fails, you don't sell anything, you've got some really great content to post for years to come.
Yeah, because on your Instagram or your social media, people don't need to know you didn't sell anything. They just need to know you were there and you were out and you were doing your thing. And that's really inspiring. So when I see someone who goes through all of that effort, like I had a friend who's like, he's an engineer, like he makes, okay money and stuff, but he's passionate about, he makes these pens, these really custom, he like grinds the wood down, he makes these custom pens. And it was just how cool it was. Like, and I looked at like his typical social media engagement, and listen, people are going to celebrate you for the most part, not everybody, but when you go out there, you take risks and you just go and follow your passion. And, and so I love that. It's like, even if you go and like, it's almost like, It's almost like, I don't know, it's not a great analogy, but it's almost like, listen, I'm going to go to Vegas and I've got $400 that I am totally cool with losing. Right. And then it's just like, that's your budget. Right. And so now if you happen to win and you happen to not lose all $400, cool. But if you lose all four, it's like, I'm going to do this trade show and I am hoping to make some great sales, but I am not going to let it devastate me. And I'm going to find other ways to get value from this experience, even if I don't make any sales. Like you get market research. That's incredibly valuable.
And I built my email list. I just set out an email thing on my table. And I do this at all the trade shows. I have a clipboard where I'm collecting emails and things like that. And I set out that email list. And I mean, I built my email list. I made videos while I was there. I used that footage so much for so many events and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I made it worth my while.
Yeah. All right. So you're growing your business. You're getting more and more attention. More and more people are buying through your website, and you set up a shopping cart on your website at lyntrelljacobs.com, right?
Yes.
And then tell me about the growth. Like what happens there?
So it took a while. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of me trying to do everything on my own. And I don't believe that I really hit momentum until I hired a team. I tried for a long time to do it myself. It got all over the place. So I started to scale once I hired on, better graphics, obviously, to make things look better. I hired on email marketing, team to kind of help out with that. We hired advertising photographers, and we had to build a whole team to make this thing work. And so obviously that's super expensive too. And that's kind of how we ended up where we are now. But we did really great numbers this year, and I can only attribute that to the fact that we always focus on quality, we always focus on customer service, and we always focus on inclusiveness and including our customers into our brand. We survey a lot. We ask a lot of questions of what they want, things like that. And when you are clear on what your customers need, not what we think they need or what we want to give them, when they tell you what they need and you adhere to that, it's super easy to profit.
Yeah. Now, so typically we talk to folks that are in the B2B space. And so Lyntrell, you have a program called Come With Me, Sis. Tell me about this.
So in our Come With Me Sis movement, we have different programs, which is our Boutique for Bosses and our Thrive. And so Boutique for Bosses is really for those who are interested in having a product-based business, who want to scale beyond 6 figures, or our Thrive program, which is for those who want to maybe take their art or whatever they do and turn it into a coaching business. Many people don't really know how to do that and make it profitable. And so we teach both of those. But in our Boutique for Bosses and Thrive programs, we run those twice a year. And basically, we just are there to kind of hold your hand, because I didn't have that early. So that's where that came from. I did not have a lot of help. I had to kind of bump my head and learn a lot of things. So it's like me taking all of my knowledge, all of my shortcomings, all of the things that could have broke me or, that I didn't like in my journey, and just skipping over that and skipping everybody to the good stuff.
And so tell me about the different ways that you help folks through your audience through. So I see you've got an Entrepreneur 101, Boutique for Bosses. I'm particularly interested in someone who wants to follow in your footsteps in the boutique world. Tell me about how you can help them.
So in the boutique world, we help secure vendors, because that was a huge issue in the beginning. We also help with funding. That was a huge issue in the beginning, which is a lot for a lot of boutiques. As many of anyone who's out there interested in the boutique space or in the retail space, they would know that, purchasing all of that inventory, all of that can get very costly very fast. Models, all of that stuff. So we help secure funding for all of those things. Even with business credit, we are connected with a lot of business credit vendors. So we help in that respect. We also talk about the different streams of income. A lot of boutique owners think that clothing is the only stream, and it's so much more than that. So we teach you how to diversify your your income. We also talk about advertising, when to advertise, when to, because marketing and advertising is very different. So we talk about when to market, when to advertise, and how to do that for your brand. It's different for every single brand. And we see everybody getting on social media, just doing what everybody else is doing. And that's not always the best thing for every brand. We talk about target audience and how I eventually got very clear on my audience. When I talk to a lot of boutique owners, they're like, oh, my audience is women, and they're 30 to 40 and they live in the state of California or somewhere, and they're not real clear on what they do for a living, where they hang out, what, type of things they enjoy. And so you can't speak to those things because you don't know what they are. So we talk about how to get crystal clear on that. Talk about branding and photography and how to let that speak for your brand and for your business so that you don't have to do so much heavy lifting. A lot of boutique owners are in a rat race because they are not clear on, I guess, the images that speak to their audience. So we talk a lot about that. But overall, we teach you how to build your business from ground to top floor.
Yeah. And how much time, money, effort, can you save, when you have a guide? Listen, yes, there's an investment, if you're working with, an advisor, a coach or coaching program, yes, you're going to need to pay for that for somebody to, obviously you've provided some great tips and advice, but the ROI potential from, not having to make some bad, expensive mistakes for 6 to 12 months. What's the value of that? That's kind of, in terms of like justification or like why someone would want to invest in working with you. But they can find this Lyntrell at your website, LyntrellJacobs.com. When you go there, scroll down to where it says, "Come with me, sis." And where did the name come from?
It came from me wanting to build like a real sisterhood. There's not a lot of women that have a circle around them that they can go to and ask questions. And, we kind of have to get out and go network and meet new people. So I wanted to create a space where there's all entrepreneurs, where a lot of us are moms, we're struggling with a lot of the same things, or we've been through the same things and we've had the same hiccups in our journey. A lot of the coaches that I had that really, really helped me were men in a lot of cases. And so their journey is obviously going to be different than my mom or a single mom or a married mom. So I wanted to create just a space to let people know in there that I'm here with you. I'm not going to leave your side. And everybody who's taken my programs, they always, echo that in the group. They talk about that because we have a Facebook group, which is our Come With Me Sis Facebook group. And in there, they talk about how I basically hold your hand. I don't want you to feel like you have to take this walk alone. It's very lonely within itself. So having someone go with you is truly invaluable because it can save you so much time, so much headache, so much energy to just go and speak with someone who's been there, done that, and just says, you know what, I've been there, I know where you are, and it's going to be okay. But when you don't have that, it's much more difficult to deal with.
All right, Lyntrell Jacobs, your website is Lyntrell Jacobs. It's Lyntrell Jacobs.com. And just click on the show notes, the little info button, however you're listening to this, we got a link below. Click on that, go visit Lyntrell. Lyntrell, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story.
Thank you.